back in the original series, like Tony Stark starts out and he's trying to prevent the Registration Act from being passed. In fact, he and Spider-Man go to Washington and they stop it from being passed. And then there's the explosion in Stanford, and Tony's basically like, okay, this is going to happen. So I'm going to get on board and try to make it happen in the least unpleasant way possible. But somewhere along the way, he goes from being like reluctantly on board to being like a true believer in registration. And there, I don't think we ever see his like come to Jesus moment, to use, to use the expression. And so I was like, huh, well, maybe, you know, we can show that. And so the idea is that what we did see in the original Civil War is Tony goes to the X mansion and tries to get the X-Men to join. He meets with Emma Frost, and Emma Frost basically says, look, we're having to deal with the fact that there's now only 198 of us. So we're just going to stay neutral. So you can just leave. But when he's leaving, Bishop comes up to him and is like, hey, we should talk. And Bishop is the only mutant who joins the side. He takes the pro uh, registration side. And so basically I came up with a story where we show for the first time that Bishop said to Tony, you need to do registration, because if you don't, people are going to get so flipped out by people with powers that it's going to lead to Days of Future Past. And it's not just enough for me to tell you that, you need to see it. So I'm going to take you to the future to see it. And they go to Days of Future
Whoa.
Past, and Tony sees it and he's like, holy shit, you're right. I need to really make registration work. And while they're there, Nimrod, for the X-Men villain, or the future, a future, an alternate timeline version of Nimrod, attacks them, and they have to fight Nimrod and defeat him. And then, but basically that's my thinking. He's like, this is how, and then we see Tony go back to talk to the president, and he's like, I'm all on board.